The FBI just raided Trump's Florida mansion. What was found in his wife's closet will shock you. Donald Trump just resurrected what legal observers are calling one of the most explosive and divisive moments of his post-presidency. His latest comments reveal a stunning new angle that nobody saw coming. For nearly 2 years, the August 2022 FBI raid at Mar-a-Lago has been a lightning rod of controversy. This week, Trump brought the story roaring back with claims about what FBI agents allegedly did in Melania Trump's personal closet. It is hard to believe we are still unpacking the fallout from that fateful Monday morning. This is not just about classified documents or presidential records. We are talking about allegations of privacy violations that could reshape how Americans view federal law enforcement operations. Trust me, Trump's reaction tells you everything about how deeply this incident still affects him. The stakes have never been higher, the emotions more raw, and Trump's grievances more personal. Let me fill you in on what happened at Mar-a-Lago on August 8th, 2022, and why Trump is bringing this story back into the spotlight now. Here is the scoop on that unprecedented raid. On that Monday morning, approximately 30 FBI agents descended on Trump's Florida estate with a federal search warrant. According to court documents unsealed shortly after, they were authorized to search for classified materials and presidential records that Trump allegedly retained after leaving office. Trump has been revisiting this raid repeatedly in recent speeches and social media posts because it remains one of his most potent political grievances. He frames it as government overreach, political persecution, and a violation of his constitutional rights. But now, Trump's zeroing in on a specific claim that adds a deeply personal dimension to his outrage. The former president is now emphasizing what he says FBI agents did in Melania Trump's closet, going through her personal belongings and private space in what he characterizes as an invasive and unnecessary search. According to Trump's recent statements, agents rifled through Melania's clothing, personal items, and private effects in a manner he describes as shocking and disrespectful. According to Trump's public statements and social media posts, FBI agents did not just search his office or storage areas. They went into the most private quarters of his residence, including Melania's personal closet. Trump has described agents going through her wardrobe, examining personal items, and spending considerable time in areas that had nothing to do with presidential documents, including spaces he says were unrelated to any investigation into official records. Reports from Trump's legal team described the scene as extensive and invasive. Statements from his attorneys in the months following the raid say FBI agents searched virtually every room in Trump's personal residence at Mar-a-Lago, including bedrooms, bathrooms, and closets. Now the official FBI inventory list released after the raid shows agents seized materials from multiple locations across the property. The document reveals they collected items from Trump's office, a storage room, and his personal residence. What the inventory does not detail, but what Trump is now highlighting, is the specific nature of searching through Melania's personal space. This has been framed as a violation of privacy that cuts deeper than political opposition. Trump is not just angry about the raid itself. He is furious about what he perceives as an unnecessary intrusion into his wife's private sanctuary. According to photographs later released in court filings, FBI agents documented their search meticulously, including images of documents spread across the floor. Trump and his supporters have pointed to these photos as evidence of what they call staging by the FBI, though federal officials have disputed that characterization. The warrant authorized agents to search for all physical documents and records constituting evidence, contraband, fruits of crime, or other items illegally possessed. That broad language, according to legal experts, gave agents wide latitude to search anywhere documents might be concealed, including personal closets. Trump's recent emphasis on the closet search appears calculated to humanize his grievance and generate sympathy. It is not just about him anymore. It is about his wife, her privacy, and what he frames as the government's callous disregard for personal boundaries. Now, this is not the first time Trump has highlighted perceived overreach by federal law enforcement. Throughout his presidency and afterward, Trump consistently positioned himself as a victim of what he calls the deep state and politically motivated investigations. Think about the Russia investigation. Trump spent years characterizing the Mueller probe as a witch hunt that invaded his privacy and targeted his family members. He emphasized the personal toll on family members, including Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump, who faced questioning. Consider the multiple investigations into Trump's business practices in New York. Trump has repeatedly framed these as politically motivated attacks that drag his family members into the spotlight unnecessarily. Look at the congressional January 6th investigation. Trump criticized the committee for issuing subpoenas to his allies, family members, and White House staff, characterizing the process as harassment and intimidation. We have spotted this pattern throughout Trump's political career. He takes governmental or legal actions against him and reframes them as personal attacks, invasions of privacy, and overreach. Think about how he discussed the Access Hollywood tape investigation, the Stormy Daniels case, and numerous other controversies. He consistently shifts focus from the underlying allegations to the methods used to investigate him. This pattern reveals something fundamental about Trump's political strategy. He is masterful at turning defense into offense. Rather than simply answering the allegations about mishandling classified documents, he is attacking the process, the investigators, and the methods they used. So here is where it gets really interesting. Trump now faces ongoing legal proceedings related to the classified documents case, with evidence that includes materials seized during that raid. The situation breaks down starkly. Trump uses the closet search to argue the entire raid was excessive and politically motivated, potentially tainting all evidence obtained. The personal nature of searching Melania Trump's closet could resonate with voters who value privacy rights and who distrust federal overreach. This narrative feeds into broader Republican criticism of the FBI and the DOJ, energizing Trump's base heading into the 2024 election. According to legal experts who have analyzed the search warrant and subsequent proceedings, the FBI operated within the bounds of their authorization. Former federal prosecutors have noted that when executing a search warrant for documents, agents must search anywhere those documents could reasonably be hidden, including closets, drawers, and personal spaces. However, Trump's defenders argue that common sense should have limited the scope. If agents were looking for boxes of classified documents, why search through clothing in a closet? That question resonates with Americans who worry about government power and privacy erosion. The political implications are absolutely massive. Trump has transformed the Mar-a-Lago raid from a legal liability into a campaign asset. At rallies, he references the raid as evidence that establishment forces are trying to stop him. The image of FBI agents searching his wife's closet adds emotional weight to that narrative. Trump's resurrection of the closet search story is causing ripples far beyond just his own legal troubles, with implications for public trust in federal law enforcement, Republican Party dynamics, and the 2024 presidential race. Republican voters are overwhelmingly sympathetic to Trump's characterization of the raid as overreach. According to multiple polls conducted after the raid, significant majorities of Republicans viewed the search negatively and believed it was politically motivated. Trump's emphasis on the personal invasion, especially involving Melania, reinforces and deepens that sentiment. Congressional Republicans are using Trump's narrative to justify investigations into the FBI, and the DOJ House committees have launched inquiries into the raid's authorization, its execution, and whether political considerations influenced the decision. Trump's specific claims about the closet search provide concrete examples they can point to when arguing for reform or accountability. Most significantly, this controversy feeds into a broader crisis of institutional trust in America. When a former president claims federal agents unnecessarily searched his wife's closet, it reinforces existing suspicions many Americans harbor about government power. Whether or not Trump's characterization is entirely accurate, the perception of overreach damages the reputation and credibility of the FBI. Legal experts note that this case could set precedents for how federal law enforcement approaches searches of former presidents or high-ranking officials. The unprecedented nature of raiding a former president's residence means every detail will be scrutinized and potentially used to establish boundaries for future cases. The media coverage of Trump's closet claims reveals the polarized nature of American discourse. Conservative outlets amplify Trump's outrage and frame the search as invasive. Liberal outlets emphasize the seriousness of the classified documents allegations and argue the search was justified. This split coverage means Americans receive completely different narratives depending on their media consumption. All of this is being woven into political messaging ahead of the 2024 election, as both parties seek to shape public opinion about government power and institutional integrity. The closet story has become a political weapon, and its effects on public confidence could influence voters and the broader direction of the campaign. So let's break down what this means, because it's not just about classified documents or even about one FBI raid. First, Trump has successfully reframed a legal vulnerability into a political asset. By emphasizing the personal invasion of searching Melania's closet, he has generated sympathy and outrage that energizes his supporters and puts his critics on the defensive. Second, this controversy reflects broader anxieties about government power and privacy. Regardless of whether the search was legally justified, millions of Americans relate to the visceral discomfort of imagining federal agents searching through personal belongings. Third, the closet narrative will remain a fixture of Trump's campaign messaging. Expect to hear this story repeated at rallies, in campaign ads, and in debates as evidence of a witch hunt against him. So, here's the deal. Trump's revival of the FBI raid story, particularly the explosive claim about agents searching through Melania's closet, demonstrates his unmatched ability to control narratives and transform controversies into campaign fuel. This isn't just about one search warrant executed 2 years ago. It's about trust in institutions, privacy, rights, political polarization, and the unprecedented nature of investigating and potentially prosecuting a former president. Watch how this narrative evolves as the 2024 election approaches. Trump will continue hammering this story. His opponents will defend the actions of the FBI as justified. And American voters will decide which narrative they believe. The legal proceedings will continue grinding forward. And the political reverberations from that August morning at Mar-a-Lago will continue shaping our national conversation. The stakes could not be higher, the emotions more raw, or Trump's determination to weaponize this grievance more evident. We are witnessing how a former president transforms a federal investigation into a campaign cornerstone, one closet at a time.